Hey guys, Jonez here. Back to talk to you guys. We're gonna call this science talk. Okay, so I think I want to say the federal government, the federal branch of the government, did a great job. Thank you so much. Um, for retracting, recanting, cleaning up the mess that Trump left with injecting ourselves with disinfectants, or cleaning ourselves. Um, this is a very bad idea. I reached out to a lot of people, and very important people to rush to, you know, fix this problem. A lot of people now on the internet are referencing Tide Pods and eating Tide Pods. I guess some of you may or may not have heard about the big craze and the challenge that kids were eating Tide Pods. Do not eat or drink or ingest or inject any type of cleaning product. We do not need a spike in the hospitals right now due to poison control. This is a very good way to kill yourself and rather quickly. And there's not much any medical professional can do if you're not rushed to the hospital as soon as possible. So by now, I'm sure a lot of people are figuring out that Trump is not a doctor. Not only is he not a doctor, he has zero medical background or knowledge. It's amazing that the man actually lived as long as he did on his own. But that being said, we're gonna have science talk today because I think it's rather important. And I'm seeing a lot of doctors out there. And actually, give me just 1 second. I have to grab my marker. I'm seeing a lot of doctors out there that are putting out videos. Some are specialized, some are not specialized in the field. Okay, listen, I'm not going to sit here and discredit or badmouth or bash any doctor that is trying to help. But at the same token, when you're making these videos and you're speaking to the general public and people who don't have any medical background, and they're panicked, they're scared, they're rushing to anybody who provides anything. And they're not consulting with doctors prior to sometimes. And I tell people all the time, let's just say this. I am not a doctor. Okay? So shut all you haters down. I am not a doctor. But I am many things other than Dash Jones. And I have studied and studied and studied and educated myself, and I do hold degrees. But that being said, I also was the nerdy kid in school who literally loved to learn, paid attention, hated kids who disrupted the class, because it took focus away from me absorbing this material. And I was just one of those sponges, so to call, that I just literally loved learning. I loved learning. I have such a passion for learning things. And even though I stopped educating myself formally because of issues that I have going on personally, doesn't mean that I stopped learning. I literally read all day long. All day long. And if something happens to me or I want to know something, unlike the general public, or most of the general public, we're getting smarter as the years go on, I hope. I don't know. Some people say that's not true, but whatever. I'm starting to see there's a lot of people lacking still. But anyways, and I'm sorry for the glare of my glasses, but we'll get to that in a second too. But anyways, I commend doctors. I commend doctors out there that are trying to study and research and find out what we need to do. But at the same token, don't go on camera and say things that you're unsure of. Make it a matter of fact or don't say it. Because I am not a doctor and I am literally reaching out to these doctors constantly and telling them that's not true. Don't do that. That's not true. Why are you telling people this? Okay. I took it upon myself to, like I said, I study everything and everything that happens to me. So I end up with this wealth of knowledge. And trust me, people around me who have known me for years always told me, go be a doctor. but I can't handle death. And that's something I know about myself. I get very attached to people. I have a heightened care for people around me, and I would get attached to my patients. I'd be a basket case every day if I had to lose a small child in my care. And these things happen. Sometimes doctors do everything they can do, and they still can't save a patient. Well, I'm that person who it would deeply emotionally affect on a daily basis. And for me to keep my sanity and my happy disposition, I decided that wasn't the best route for me. I have people in my family. I have one quarter of my family is all in Medfield. They're all doctors, nurses, what have you. It just wasn't for me. I decided a different route. I have many natural talents. I have, educated and studied myself. I could probably hold close to 30 different types of positions in this world, but I only have time for so much, and I have a limited time on this earth. So now that we've gotten through my credentials, one thing I am, or what before I was disabled, was a business consultant. Some may not know that, but so trust me, I'm pretty savvy when it comes to what you should be saying and what you should not be saying. I mean, granted, a lot of things are posted on Facebook. And there's mixed truth there. Some people are credible. Some people are just saying stuff to be funny. But some people don't understand that on Facebook. You never know who your readers are. And they don't come with proper legal clauses either. So let's just say this. I commend the people who are out there researching. There is still a lot unknown about this virus. However, I took it upon myself to research this in depth, thoroughly for the past 2 months, just like I would if it were happening to me right now, and literally went to 50 million sources I could find. And that's what I've been doing, is reading and researching and following the studies, and actually even spreading word as to what needs to be studied so we can answer things. I've also been looking for a cure. I'm there. I've reached out to hospitals. Nobody's called me back. I've gotten a ton of med schools calling me. Not what I need right now. Sorry, not going to med school. I just need to run my tests so I can say, yes, in fact, I have a cure. Or maybe I don't. Maybe I don't. Can't say I do yet. I can't say until I get the studies done. So, that being said, I've reached out to hospitals. You know what? At this point, you can only try so much. So I'm going to do science talk today, just in case these doctors out here maybe get a feel for what I know. Okay? So I'm going to take you back to 8th and 9th grade biology class. Yeah, I actually remember this stuff. It's crazy, I know. Ready? I'm not an artist. That's one thing I'm not. My ex, he could have helped me out with this if he wanted to. This is supposed to be a lung. A lung. But one thing I remembered right away, as soon as this virus hit, cilia and ovuli. And that's all you need to know. So this is lungs. I don't even know what these things are called. I don't even remember. But what I do remember is ovuli. And these are little air sacs at the end of the main, I think it's a nervous system, but it's also a main branch in our lungs. And those are ovuli. And it's spelled here. They're little tiny air sacs. Okay. And then down here are ovuli and little hairs. Those are called cilia. Now the hairs trap, they trap like phlegm, environmental pollutants. They create mucus. Well, they hold on to the mucus. And then when we cough, it flies off the cilia into our throat and we spit it out. The ovuli are tiny little air sacs. And that's the most important part here. Okay. Because the little air sacs are the first things that become crystallized when you get COVID-19. And they're the first things that burn out. And if I'm not mistaken, has a lot to do with bringing the oxygen into our bodies that we breathe in. This is why the oxygen rate is going down. This is also why people are trying to take breaths. They're trying to expand those air sacs, which help take in the oxygen and transfer it into our bloodstream in our bodies, which goes to our brain. The cilia the little hairs are also affected. They're burnt out. This is why it's hard when you're coughing to actually get the crap up and out of your lungs. Because again, when the air sacs, the ovuli are being crystallized, the little cilia also burn out with it. Now, when you get COVID-19, it can create permanent damage even if you recover. So you may be left with things like asthma, COPD, emphysema. That's what a lot of people don't understand. So even if you get over it, you still may keep some of the symptoms with your lungs. Okay. So for all you doctors out there, if you're kind of questioning what's going on, this is what's going on. The mucus form starts in the bottom of your lungs here, and then it starts to, so to speak, evaporate or so onto the lung membrane and the air sacs and the cilia, and then starts to crystallize. Okay, and it's burning out the air sacs and the cilia, the ovuli, which are the air sacs. And this mucus down here starts to crystallize, and then it starts to crystallize all over the lung. And that's what's making it feel like shards of glass breathing in, because this is a membrane, a mucus membrane. And when it becomes dry and it actually starts to crust, which is called crystallization, it can actually form tears in the lining as well. Hopefully you don't end up with a punctured lung, because that would be a worst case scenario, because then your fluids could leak into your lungs, your blood and what have you. Bodily fluids that are in our body can leak into your lungs if you puncture a lung. You can actually suffocate to death. So that's what's going on here. That's what COVID does to the lungs. Okay, so hopefully I've helped some of the doctors out there, just the general public, what have you, because that's what's going on. There are articles on my Dash Jones page. You have to go to the comment section after Do Your Part Coronavirus. In the comment section, there's all sorts of articles that I've gathered viable resources from. Basically, I've went through 30 different articles, and whichever one made sense logically from a smart person standpoint, I took my information from and posted also my sources to my page. So anybody's free to go look in the comment section of the pin post, the first pin post. Okay. So that being said, another thing that we really need to touch on is there's all sorts of symptoms going on right now that people keep mentioning. One thing I've noticed, because I had people around me tracking their temperature since day one. Well, since we knew of day one anyways, because there's been now reported cases earlier, and one of my family members actually was one of those reported cases. But anyways, there's a lot of new now symptoms going on. One being heart attack. Okay. One being kidney problems. Next thing is nervous system, which people still aren't grasping onto. Next one is brain dysfunction. Eyes. That's why I have my glasses on. I've followed an ophthalmologist who said if you wear contacts, which I do normally, take them out right away and put your glasses on, because it affects your eyes. We have a mucous membrane in our eyes, and also we can contract the virus through our eyes, and we want to make sure we're keeping our eyes clean. And our eyes can become infected, inflamed. Conjunctivitis, which is like cakey, white pasty. If you ever woke up with your eyes sealed and crusty, that's conjunctivitis. It can be bacterial or viral. This particular one is viral. Pink eye is viral, but it's different. Pink eye, you don't normally end up with crust. That's conjunctivitis, normally from getting dirt and whatever in your eye, or from getting sick, and that's when it's viral. It runs through your whole body. So I put my glasses on. So for all you people out there that might wear contacts, go ahead, take out your glasses and put them on, because if you do end up with COVID, trust me, you don't want your contacts in your eyes if you end up with the viral eye infection from COVID. Also, you don't want to keep having to touch your eye every day with the contacts, and also lessens you rubbing your eyes also. So that's a big thing. So let's talk about some of the symptoms that people aren't realizing that it's actually affecting our whole bodies. And let's talk about the temperature thing. I've had a lot of people track their temperature. And one thing, before you get a fever, I'm starting to think, I haven't verified this 100%, but I think when it enters your body, it brings our temperature down, because it has a better chance of cultivating if our body temperature goes down. So it's a mechanism, I believe, is what I've picked up on anyways, is that it lowers the body temperature when it first comes in contact with our body. This way, because it's trying to change our body to create an environment where it will survive, and it affects our body that way for some reason. So it lowers our body temperature because this particular virus likes cold, dark, moist. Okay. And that being said, it'll enter our body in our incubation period, try and lower our body temperature. And then when we actually have it full blown, it turns into the viral infection in our body. Our bodies raise temperature because now we're trying to fight it. So keep your houses warm. Okay. The virus does not like the heat. It prefers the cold. It does not mean it will die in your house just because you're keeping it warm. What I've already found out was it's 140 degrees Fahrenheit. And there's no way you're getting your house 140 degrees Fahrenheit. It will be hotter than Zimbabwe in your house if you do. So, you just want to keep it warm because you don't want to provide the best environment. It can still survive in 80, 90 degree weather. So for all you people that think going out in the sun and the heat is going to kill it, the sun, yes, the heat, not unless you're getting it up to 140. That's why you should be cooking all of your food and making sure you bring it to temperature of at least 140 and higher. So boil, if you're getting pre-prep food, I've already warned about this. Sorry, restaurants, I know you're going to be pissed, but if you're even getting pre-prep food from a restaurant for takeout, you should be taking it home and recooking it for another couple minutes, just another couple minutes, bring it up to temperature at least of 140 and maybe higher. So me personally, I always play on the safe side, 200 degrees. I pop it in the oven for 5 minutes on 200 degrees. At least you have a better chance of killing the virus if somebody who made your food somehow contaminated your food. I've already told you, don't eat chips. Don't eat bread. Don't eat, you can eat a bagel because you're going to toast it. If you're going to eat bread, toast your bread. If you're going to have chips, put them in the oven and toast them for a couple minutes. Unfortunately, we got to recook everything. And cereal, big no-no right now. Anything that you're not going to cook right there in front of you, up to at least, bring it up to 140 and higher, you can't guarantee that you're not getting the virus. If you're eating fruits and vegetables, make sure you're washing them before you eat them. I've already put out this in my post. So if you're just now getting this information, by all means, please go to Do Your Part Coronavirus. Jonez tips to stay safe and stay well. And also I have a Jonez Do Your Part Coronavirus tips to manage stress and anxiety, because people obviously need that right now. But we'll get back to all of the promo links and what have you. I did mention I'm Jonez, who founded Do Your Part Coronavirus campaign, right? Okay, that's good. I didn't, but I just realized. Okay, so I'm kind of all over the place. My brain works funky sometimes. So temperature drops. The next thing is it affects the kidneys because it's affecting our bloodstream. And that's why we're running a viral infection. All of our organs kick into overdrive when we're trying to fight an infection. The kidney and the heart are the first things that normally shut down when you're very, very ill. And the kidneys are shutting down because it's overtoxinating our bloodstreams, and our kidneys cannot keep up with trying to get rid of the virus, fight the infection. Plus, we're now vulnerable to other bacterial and viral infections because our immunity is lowered. So kidneys have a tendency to be the first ones to fail. Also, when you're sick, you normally don't drink enough fluids and your body temperature is really high, which means you're dehydrated, and that affects your kidneys as well. Your kidneys being dehydrated is actually the first thing that is a warning sign that you have something going on with your kidneys. When you are dehydrated, that's the first thing. It's going to start to affect your kidneys. So yes, definitely stay hydrated, but also I don't remember if some of my older people my age might remember on Hot 97 back in New York, I think it was the Xbox came out and they did a contest who could drink more water or whatever, and you won a free Xbox around Christmas for your kids. I think it was an Xbox, I think. Don't mark me. But anyways, people died. People died. Yeah, I know, it's sad. It was really sad. It was right before Christmas. And parents were just trying to get their kids an Xbox because they didn't have enough money to get their kids what they wanted under the tree. And people actually died from drinking too much water. You will float your kidneys. Not good. Not good. So don't drink too much water, like an insane amount of water. Bodybuilders screw up with this too. They drink too much water and they can get very ill and possibly die. So, you want to make sure you're at least putting in like a half a gallon of water in your body a day. But you don't need to go chugging 5 gallons of water in an hour. No, don't do that. Do not do that. Okay, so we got through the kidney, why we're having an issue with the kidney, the heart. The next thing is the heart. Okay, well, when you're rapidly breathing, like you just ran a marathon or something, you're, right, trying to catch your breath, and your heart naturally, you're running the marathon. And this is what your heart's and your body's supposed to do when you're doing high impact exercises and what have you. But if you are laying down in a bed just trying to breathe and you're anxiety ridden and you're worried and you're stressed and all you're thinking is, oh my God, I'm going to die, I'm going to die, I'm going to die. And your heart's pounding like 1,000,000 beats per minute. That's an exaggeration, obviously. I hope. But anyways, yes, you are in very high risk for a heart attack, especially when you're laying down and your heart's beating that fast. That's for one. Secondly, the toxin buildup in our bloodstream is now running through our heart, which makes our heart, again, in very high risk for heart attack. The third thing was I'm hearing a lot of stroke that can be connected to clots, blood clots. You can have a pulmonary, which is in your lungs. You can have one in your veins that moves up to your lungs. You can have one that also goes to your brain and inevitably has, I believe, what causes an aneurysm, which is when your brain starts to bleed. And you can die from that. So, yes, we're seeing all these things. Brain, again, if you have a fever, people act a little because your body temperature is up higher than it's supposed to be, and that does affect your brain. So yes, we are seeing it going to the brain. Kidney, heart, lungs, brain. Oh, and obviously we're all dealing with a little bit of mental health, just being stressed, just having anxiety. You start to act weird. You don't act rationally, you don't act logically, you don't act calm, you're aggressive, you panicked, you freak out, you want to fight everybody around you, you want to blame everybody around you. So yeah, we're seeing some mental issues. Definitely seeing mental issues. And then if you have COVID, I'm sure it's 50 times worse because you're thinking you're going to die, which is pretty rational. Probably the most rational thought you have when you have COVID is that you're going to die. And with the rates we're seeing in the US right now, it's about 50%. It's actually up that high now. It's almost 50% as of yesterday. We had 100,000 that were infected. Was it? Oh, no. Sorry. We have over 100,000 infected. No, confirmed. I think the numbers, I'm sorry, because I seen this yesterday. It was a 50% rate, though. People that recovered to people that died. 50% rate. Yeah, we need to fix that. All right, so I got through heart, kidney, lungs, temperature, brain. Okay, guys, I think that's everything for the most part. Here's my little diagram again. The ovuli and the cilia. So doctors, general public, biology people, teachers, you can teach us. Maybe teach us. A lot of kids are being homeschooled. Biology teachers, can you please step up to the plate and do your part coronavirus and get this out there, please? Explain the lung going on here. And reach out to doctors because people need all the help they can get right now so we can figure this out. All right, guys. Well, I'm going to keep it short and sweet today because, I don't know, 25 minutes is short and sweet, but I am Dash Jones. I am coming to you not live when I post this. I hope everybody just continues to do your part. Coronavirus. Watch Taking Advice from President Trump. Oh, I forgot to mention chloroquine. Okay, hydrochloroquine. Real quick. Hydrochloroquine. Sorry. Another reason I'm not a doctor. Terrible with medicine names. Hydrochloroquine. Okay, when this first came out and Trump said it, I, of course, being me, researched it right away. Okay, I also found out that affects the tissues in your eyes. It affects your heart, puts you at higher risk for heart attack. There were a few others, but those were the main ones that I needed to focus on. And again, hydrochloroquine, if you take it, you can cause irreversible damage. Now, some doctors have tried and combated what I said about it, saying, oh, that's only on a long period of time. But you're giving this to patients that could be little kids, babies, elderly. Their system is not as strong as ours. Or let me see, not as strong as people in their middle age or 20s that are really fit and healthy. Okay? So if we have to also understand what the high risk category is also a high risk category for treatments. And what one person's body may be able to withstand may not be what somebody else's body may be able to withstand. And that also comes with prescriptive drugs. And if you're giving this prescriptive drug, which is extremely strong, by the way, and the only reason they normally give these drugs to people is because, yes, they are strong and yes, they have a lot of risk attached. But as long as the benefits outweigh the risk, they normally give it to those people. But those people are already facing immunodeficiencies. And if that's the case and they're giving them to those people on the regular, and that's what they normally use the drug for, also it is an anti-malaria drug, it's because the risks outweigh the benefits outweigh the risk. I don't know why I keep saying it opposite. But anyways, so yeah, that's why they're giving hydrochloroquine, but they're finding that, yes, it's causing rapid heart problems like heart attack, stroke. It is destroying our mucous membranes all throughout our body. We have quite a few, not just one. So our eyes, our nose, our mouth, our lungs, our heart, so long story short, digestive tract. So that being said, yeah, there are a lot of risks with hydrochloroquine, and you have to be very careful who you're giving it to. And they kept saying, oh, no patients had died in all the studies, and now they're coming out with studies that saying, yeah, it's just as likely to die from hydrochloroquine as you are from COVID. So listen, I'm not going to tell you people what to ask for when you go to the hospital. Do your own research before you ever put something in your body, okay? I've been to numerous specialists and doctors because of things I had going on, and I still go home and research, and they're like, how the hell does she know that? And I'm like, because I'm not stupid. I've been screwed by one doctor already in my life, and it left me with lifelong injuries. Not physical, but other. I'm not going to talk about that right now, but it is what it is, and I'll never be stupid again. So, coming to you, Dash Jones. Go to my page, www.facebook.com/DAZJONEZ for life. Dash Jones for life. Go find my tips. Go find my pins, my pin posts. Go find my videos. I will promise you I will be posting more. Everyone stay safe. Please don't be an idiot. Just go do your research. Stay home. Wear a mask. Wash your hands. Social distance. And get your info from the right people. Thanks.